So I got a few things to go over, and then I'll try and answer those questions that you guys had yesterday. So I did not have a chance today to pull up my drill down and see where we're sitting at Success Club, but I still think from what I remember from what I looked at, and like, because I always check to see if anybody signs people up, I think we're all still kind of low. I know Aaron's at 6, Aaron Christensen. Aaron Ripke, what are you at? You're at 4? Okay. And Julie, are you 2? Okay. All right. So I know for me, like, just I was gonna say Marin, Megan and Aaron, my Aaron, are the only ones for me that have had hit Success Club. So my question is, do you guys want me to like put together? I know we kind of have our March Madness message thread, but do you guys want me to put like a Success Club thread together, like those that have, 3 or 4 points, and those that have 1 or 2, and like just to try and push yourselves to like kind of get that daily motivation, that daily check-in to be, and I would kind of like just check in daily. And I know with Messenger sometimes it pops up a little bit easier. Is that something you guys want, or no?
I think it would be helpful.
Okay. I will look into that tomorrow and set some up. And if I put you in there and you don't want to be in there, you can just leave the group too. Like, you don't have to be in there if you don't want to be. Start thinking about Super Saturday, what we want to do for the plans. I know I talked to Megan a little bit about it, and I think we talked about on Saturday morning leaving like between 7 and 7:30, and then we kind of were, I know Jill posted in the team page about staying over somewhere, and I was talking to Megan about it, and we thought like staying somewhere in like a suburb of Minneapolis or something made a little bit more sense. So I don't know what everybody has like in the big group has decided, but we kind of talked about that, so that way we're a little bit closer to home. And I don't really know where Ham Lake is, but I don't really want to stay there. It doesn't really sound that exciting, so I'm just kidding. But yeah, so start thinking about that. We kind of need to make, it's still a week and a half away, but just kind of make some decisions about that. Just a heads up I'm starting to look at the calendar for April, and like all month, all I did was push the 22-minute hard corps. And so I was promoting my test group that was starting today. And so then, or started yesterday. So then today when I went to send my messages, I'm like, well, I can't invite for my test group because my test group started yesterday. So what am I going to do? So I just switched it up, and I said, we had so much excitement about this test group that I'm opening another one starting April 4th. And so I'm still calling it an exclusive test group. I'm still saying there'll be some of the first. I'm still talking about the special. So I'm doing, because that worked for me in the beginning of March. So now I'm just kind of turning it and talking about how it's going to start in April. So I've got those 2 weeks to kind of get them going and get them thinking and talking about it. So that's kind of my plan and what I've been doing that way when it comes to inviting. And another thing is I've started making a list in my notebook of people that I'm going to check back with on March 30th. So it worked for me last month. February 26th, I think, I started, I messaged those people that were get back to me later. And so I messaged them. So when March 1st rolled around, after 2 or 3 days of talking, then they finally pulled the trigger and were like, yeah. And so that was one of the ways that I was able to move Success Club forward so quickly in the month, was because I was checking back with all those people and I was doing it right away. I know Megan did that as well this month too, and I know that really helped her be successful, is to check back with those people. So don't ever, just because somebody gives you a no, or I started to go back to people that are not right now, and that was 2 months ago, so now I'm going back to them. Okay, you know what, it wasn't great for you in December, how about now? And so just have to change your tactic. And I learned that I tried to send the same invite over and over and over, and that gets dull, that gets stale, and you have to change it up. So you have to change your wording, you have to change what you're promoting for, what you're talking about, you just have to try and add that energy and everything to it before. I'm also going to start working on the training, the new coach training for April, and I'm going to set it to medium speed. So in January we went turtle, and then in February we went super speed demon fast. And so now I'm like, okay, so I'm shooting for like 3 weeks. I think if we can stretch that training to 3 weeks, and I'm kind of taking like what I've been working with my newer coaches on and the questions I've been getting lately, and I'm going to focus a lot on that in that training. So that's kind of a heads up for you guys. I'll start April 4th as well. One of the last announcements I had was activity in the groups. So we have fully switched over to the challenge tracker. I know everybody else on the team hates it. And I read their comments, and everybody's really negative about it, and I did not put in my 2 cents about it because, you know, if it doesn't work for them, that's fine. But this is new, like it's different. But I think eventually, once we get used to it, it will be really great. And like I was talking to Christy about it today, and she had the same problem that I had earlier in the week, where I was like, "Boy, I wish I got the notification." And she's like, "Oh, you can get the notification." And like when Megan said, "Oh, you can change it," then I was telling Christy about that. I'm like, "Oh, you can change it," and so then that changed her mindset too. She's like, "Oh, that's way better that you can get it so you see all those posts and everything." So I'm planning on sticking with the challenge tracker app just because it really eliminates my Facebook notifications, and so I wake up to 5 instead of like 45, which, you know, I would rather have 45 little notifications for my challenge tracker app than on my Facebook. With the challenge tracker, it's just way easier. If you are not liking it and you want to go back to Facebook, you totally can. I mean, it's up to you. I'm just going to stick with this because it's the way we're going. And I know I've had some people that have said, "Oh, I can't get it on my phone." And then I'm like, okay, well, this is how we're doing the group. So either delete some pictures or I don't know. One lady, she's like just checking in with me every day, which is fine. I don't know why the emails haven't been going through. I've been resending them every morning. So I don't know if people still aren't getting them. I would say, I don't know. I mean, they can try and call in. I am like, I can do it at 7 at night or I can do it at 6 in the morning. So if you're letting me know at 10 in the morning, I can't really do anything about it until 7 at night. So if they're still having issues, I just resent emails again. I don't know. I've never really had this many issues as I have before. Maybe double check and make sure their emails are right. I know Abby sent me the wrong email, and then it wouldn't go through to her person because she spelled it wrong. So maybe you need to go back and make sure the emails are spelled correctly if they're still not getting it. And so the activity, that's the thing that I've noticed is that our activity as coaches is not high in the groups. You have the daily posts, which I sit down one night and I set them all out so they go. Everybody posts their workouts, and then that's it. There's hardly any motivational. There's hardly any recipes. And for a while there on the Facebook group, like we were all doing awesome. Everybody was sharing at least once or twice a day. Like the activity was high. And now since we moved to the app, like it's not there. And I'm guilty of it too. I mean, we've all just we've just leveled out. We haven't pushed or we haven't added that motivation to it. And Christy had a like super amazing, awesome idea. I was talking to her today, and she goes, because I was talking about this, I'm like, you know, our participation group is not high. And she said something about, you know, how she should go in at night and rate herself during the day. I'm like, that's really good because, you know, we talk about that all the time. We want our challengers to do that, but we don't do that as coaches. We don't sit down. And part of it is a lot of us post in the morning. So you can't rate yourself for the day if you post in the morning. But then she said that what we should do, or what she suggested, was if there are 4 coaches running a group or 3 coaches running a group, one person is responsible for posting recipes all week. Like their sole responsibility is to, at noon, at 3, at 7, whatever, post a recipe. The other person, the other coach, their responsibility is posting Shakeology all week. So they're posting their Shakeology recipes. They're posting tips on how to make your Shakeology. They can also talk about like the performance line. Because like Christy said, I was scared to try anything else because all I ever was hounded on was Shakeology. So she goes, you know, maybe talking about the performance line, the recovery, the recharge, the energize. So one person posted about that. Another person is motivation. So one person is posting, you know, every single motivational. So they have, I don't know how can I mute this person? Mute. Okay. So one person is doing, or everybody is involved, but you have one focus. Because I know sometimes it's like, well, what do I post about? But I think if we each have a focus of, okay, you're doing recipes, you're doing Shakeology, you're doing motivation, and there's probably some other aspect, like maybe you're like health, there's just something about getting enough water or sleeping or posting something about that, like a health tip every day, depending on how many coaches we have. So I think that I was blown away. I'm like, that is amazing. That is awesome. Like, because you don't have that week that you have to post for. And I think when you have that week that you have to post for, you're more engaged in the group and you tend to post more, and we don't have that. So I think if you have a weekly task that you have to post about, like, it just helps keep us accountable too. I think even as coaches, like, we need that assignment. We need that accountability. So I'll probably look at rolling that out for the group that just started yesterday, if you guys think that's a good idea. Because I don't think anybody can deny that we haven't had a lot of coach interaction in the group as far as posting goes. We log our Shakeology, which is awesome. But to be honest, like, sometimes I'm so go during the day that I drink my shake and I forget to log it because I'm still getting used to that part of it. We post our workout and that comes natural. But I think if we make it a focus of posting something else in the group every day, and it can be whenever, I really think it needs to be across the board a rule that you are posting twice a day, your workout and then whatever your assignment is. And because especially if you have challengers in there, and you're not putting in any effort or you're not commenting on other people's posts, like, I sit down and I take probably a half an hour out of my day throughout the day to comment on everybody's challengers posts. And if you throw in 5 challengers and you're not commenting on anybody but just your challengers, that's not fair, right? I mean, and not that I don't want to make it sound bad, but you're putting, as myself, and I know some of you are really great at it, you're putting in effort every single day to comment on people's posts, and not just like, cool, awesome, like, you're actually putting in meaningful posts and meaningful comments. Like, that's what drives the challenge groups up, and that's what drives those people to keep motivated, to keep posting. And the more active and the more motivated they are in the group, they become coaches eventually, right? So I think we just all need to, like, reevaluate, focus on posting twice, set aside that 20 minutes, just sit on your phone, like, while you're mindlessly watching Dancing with the Stars, and comment on everybody's posts. Do it once a day. You have to, okay? You have to post in the group twice, and you have to comment at least on everybody's stuff. Just do it once a day. Sit down. I usually do it in the morning, right after I post my workout. I go through and then usually like at 7 at night. So between that 7, I have that 12-hour span. I try and do it every 12 hours, and sometimes throughout the day, like at lunch, I'll check in too. And really, if you are doing it like every couple hours, like every 4 hours, every 3 hours, when you sit down and do it, there's really not that many that you have to go through if you break it up and stuff. So, all right, sorry, I got a little like excited and out there, but okay. So I will post in the group. I will make like kind of a planning schedule, like okay, so you're doing Shakeology and Performance Line, you're doing motivation, you're doing recipes. Post your meal plan, right? Christy and I were talking about that too. Sometimes you do this for so long and your meal plan just becomes so routine that you don't think about it anymore. But I've noticed, especially because I have across the board all new challengers, and they want help with meal planning. And so I'm like, oh crap, like, okay, I usually just know what I need and go for it. So I think if it's your week to plan recipes, you need to post your meal plan, and you need to talk about how you set that, why you do it that way, and so on. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to talk about is I know some of you are in that Push to Diamond group, and in that video, I know my Aaron asked me that question about signing people up as discount coaches rather than customers. And I just wanted to like let everybody know across the board, like, I was taught that everybody you sign up as a discount coach, unless they specifically say they want to be a customer. And so that was just the way that I was taught, and that's the way that I've taught my coaches. But not everybody is like that. Like Lisa, my success partner, she does not sign anybody up as a discount coach unless they are going to coach. everybody else she signs up as customers, unless after a few months they decide they want the discount. There's pros and cons to doing it both ways. If you sign up as customers, you drive up your volume, like your personal volume. You sign up as coaches, discount coaches, then you build your legs and you build your business. So I've just always learned to do it that way, and that's just the way that I've done it. I have had, like, for example, my Erin, when she first signed up, she was still nursing, or she is nursing, and she didn't know if she would drink Shakeology, if she would have it. But I was like, okay, it's a best deal to go with the challenge pack. So I said, just do that, sign up as a customer, and then when she wanted to coach, then we canceled and switched her to a coach. So that happens for me sometimes too, when people accidentally sign up as customers or whatever. But I just kind of wanted to, like, let everybody know that that's just the way that I was taught, and I think that's the way Heather was taught, and so on. And so that's just kind of the way that I've taught my girls to do it. And so but other people do it different, and it's just kind of, I mean, it's not right or wrong either way. It just makes a difference in how you build your business and so on. And the last thing that I had before I open it up to what you guys had posted in the group was that I want to know what you guys, especially if you're my coach, and if you're not my coach, then let your coach know, but what do you guys want from me? Like, some of you, I feel like, you know, you're in, you're out, you want this, you know, you're it's like, what do you want from me? Like, do you want me to be the Jillian Michaels trainer coach, like constantly in your face, like, hey, you know, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Or do you want me to just sit back here and, like, wait for you to come to me? I want to know what you need me to do. Like, do you want me, like, daily at the end of the day before I go to bed, like, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Because I can. Or do you want me to just sit back and wait for you to come to me, like, when you have issues? And I think just for me, like, I just want to know, because sometimes I'm sitting here like, should I message them? Should I not? Like, do they need me? Do they not? And so I just want to know, like, what you want from me. And I'm sure, like, if Megan's your coach, she wants to know that too. And if Julie's your coach, she wants to know that too. Like, I think, and just kind of, for me, I just want to know, like, you know, what do you want from me? Like, are you, like, for example, like Megan, I know that she is pretty much, like, good to go. And if she needs something, she comes to me. Like, I don't have to look at her every day and be like, did you send your invites, Megan? Like, have you posted today, Megan? Like, I don't have to check in with her, because she knows. And if she needs me, she comes to me. Okay, my Erin is still new, so I know that on a daily basis, I probably need to just check in with her, even if it's to make sure that her son is okay and she's not in the hospital. You know, like, she's still newer, so I know that she probably still needs that daily check-in. And like Abby, we talk, like, every day, every time anything, she's always comes to me, and I know that that's how she needs what she needs. So that's just one thing that helps me to know, like, what you want, what you need, how I can help you, and so on. Okay. Whew. All right. So, oh, I can't. Remember, Megan, I told you I'd be done by 9? Yeah, that's not going to happen. I know. I talk too much. I can't, but we were talking about how, like, Heather and Hillary's calls go, like, 20 minutes, and then they're like, have a great night. And I'm like, oh my God, we talked till, like, it cuts us off. Oops. Okay. So Megan, I was reading yours, and you might have to clarify a little bit. A breakdown of team calls for the week. I'm looking through.
That was just like, I know, like, Scarlett mentioned Tuesday nights she can't go on our call because she's babysitting. So I just said something about the fact that, like, Monday nights are, like, the Alyssa calls, Tuesday nights are yours, Wednesday night is Heather or Hillary, and then Thursday night's Hillary. So I just meant, like, let everyone else know that those are also good calls to catch, you know, because they are upline. So
Yep, definitely. Yeah, it's actually okay. So Alyssa's changed her calls. So Monday nights at 8 are Melanie's dream team calls. So Melanie, top coach of the company, like, our upline. Her calls, and I always try to catch those because she usually has good speakers, or she has great content. I obviously missed the one last night, and I've been trying to find the recording. So that is Monday night. Ours are Tuesday night. And then Melissa's are actually on Wednesdays at 11:30 now. She changed them. But if you go into her page, into Royal Republic, she posts the link right there. So, and that's on, she switched them, which is awesome. She switched them to YouTube, so you can actually, the same link that you could hop on live is actually the same one as the recording, which is really nice. And then Wednesday nights, it's like every other week is Hillary's calls, and hers are at 8. And then Heather's are Thursday at 8:30. So, and I can post those in the group too, like put a file of when those calls are. And I try to, when they're posted, I try to share them in our group. I know sometimes if you aren't friends with them or you're not in their page, like the picture doesn't copy or the link doesn't show. So just let me know if it doesn't share and stuff. With the workout pictures, I guess it's different for everybody. For me, I just kind of made it like a thing where I just always post when I work out. And I'm trying now to like try and incorporate more of like maybe my devotional in there a little bit, or like some of my personal development in there a little bit. So it's not just a sweaty selfie, or I like try to throw in videos sometimes too. I don't know. It's hard. And I think you just kind of have to figure out like what works. And and some people, like I noticed if I do just post like my workout picture, like, oh, I did cardio 2 today, like, yeah, it's usually my 3 coaches that like it or whatever. But if I post like a little something about my devotional, or like this morning I did a pull-up picture or a video, and I talked about how I was like trying to get better and blah blah blah, and like I had a lot of likes. And so I just try to mix it up, honestly. I try to do a video, I try to do a selfie, and then I try and do like a quote with it. And then I switch it up again. Like I try and do a video, and then I just keep trying different things. So it's not just like, oh, we get it, you worked out again. Like, okay, that's just what I've tried to do. And I know some people don't post their workout pictures all the time, but for me, I just feel like that's a big part of like me showing constantly that I'm working out is a way for me to motivate those people that are like, I don't have time, I can't, like blah blah blah, but then they go and see every morning at 5:30 I am up and I'm going and I'm doing it. So for me, that's just kind of my consistency, and for people to see that too. And I think you just kind of have to figure out what works for you, and yeah, like posting what you do. And like Erin, repeat, I saw yours tonight where you were like, after all of this, I still push play even though I didn't want to. Like, I think those kind of posts really stick out to people and show that you are human. Like, yes, you have a million things going on. I get that you're busy. Like, awesome. Me too. I still get up and work out. Like, or I still push play when I get home. Those kind of things. So I think even just being open and honest about that kind of stuff makes a difference too for people. PD books. I have like a whole stack of them over here.
I saw that. I was just trying to find because I feel bad buying a couple books if I'm only going to read one, and then once I get to one, then someone else comes out with a new book. I'm like, I need that too. So I'm trying to find my next book I want to go to, because now I don't have basketball, so actually I want to get in at least 1 or 2 books. Before I was only getting in a few pages, so I'm trying to really work on that, because I don't know, I just noticed that that's something I need to work on a lot. So
I'm trying to do for a while there I was reading 2 books at a time, because I was doing one that was me personal, confidence growth, that kind of personal development, and then I was reading a business one. It's one to move my business forward. The Magic of Big Thinking, that is one that I would say I wish I would have read that my first month of coaching. So The Magic of Big Thinking, Go Pro, that is another one I wish I would have read my first month of coaching. And those 2 are more business oriented. I am reading I Am That Girl right now. That one's really good.
What's the frog book?
Eat That Frog.
Eat That.
That one's really good too. And it was fast. You could read it in 2 days. It was really quick. What else? I'm trying to see. Oh, Girl Code was really good. I just finished that one too. Girl Code was good. And then I haven't read it yet, but I've heard really good things about Jab, Jab, Right Hook. That's one about your social media posts.
Yeah, I had that one in my cart because someone mentioned it on a call, and I was like, oh, that's a good one. But I know it was more challenge group kind of thing. So.
And then I think one of the next ones I'm going to read is Rich Bitch. So.
Okay, sounds good.
That aside, that I think I'm going to read that one next. So. But I still have the Awaken the Giant Within, that one from the summer or this fall. That one's on the bottom of my pile. So
The gigantic book.
we'll see if that, I'm not going to let it go to waste. I will probably read it, but not for a while.
It's a sleeper.
Yeah, but no.
I just love the like You Are a Badass book because it's just like down to earth. Like it didn't feel like a textbook, or something that you're reading. It just felt like.
And that's why I liked for a while there reading one book like that and then a business book, because then like in the morning or at lunch I would read like the one to like build me up on the inside, and then at night I would read like the business book, so I could kind of, because I do think both are important. At least for me, I found it was important to kind of figure out some ways to move my business forward, but also like to grow for me on the inside too. Oh, you typed him in there. Thanks. Aaron. Okay. So coaching posts. Christy asked me tonight at supper. She's like, "So, do you know what you're going to talk about on the call?" And I was like, "Yeah, everybody wants to know about coaching posts." And I was like, "If I knew the answers, I would."
I feel like it's just hard because, like I was just talking to Aaron the other day about like coaching, and I'm like, really, it's like the aspect of we're working out and like getting paid for it, but we're also helping other people, and so like that's great too. But then it's also like we are getting paid, we are getting an income, and like you and I talked about like not throwing it in your face, like, oh, I'm making, kind of like how someone else posted that, and just like. I was trying to come up with different ideas, and I think it was actually Julie. You posted this in the Diamond group once, and you wrote like things about why you love coaching, and it was like flexibility and financial freedom and all that stuff. And so I've just been trying to make posts that go with those like general concepts, I guess. So.
And then I know in the Diamond group today, I don't know if Aaron and you guys have had a chance to look yet, but the assignment like in the morning was to list, the strengths or the things that you've gained from coaching. And so I like went and I made my list, and it was like it was confidence, so like me gaining confidence, friendships with coaches and with other people, and being able to be home, like just being home at night instead of, and that was a big thing, and that's kind of a thing that I'm trying to push now for me, is that I've always been busy and I need to be busy, and I've always had a part-time job where I'm outside of my home at night, and I don't want that anymore. But here I am sitting here doing this, and I'm working my part-time job, but I'm home while everybody else is home, and I don't feel that. Like conferences, like I hate that feeling of being away from home. Like it's part of life, like you have to do it as a teacher, but I hate that feeling of my family's home and I'm sitting here, So like trying to list out those things that coaching has done for you and sharing that. And it doesn't have to be like, even if you took a picture of like a screenshot of this call tonight and you posted it and said, I got to spend time with some of my favorite ladies tonight. Like I love that we all have the passion for helping each other in common. It can be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be every single time. Like, hey, coaching has changed my life. Like, do you want to join my team? And I think it's so hard to like move your brain from that, because if you think back to when you were a newer coach, and I bet if you looked back at like your challenge groups invites, they would probably make you cringe. And you would probably be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that or I did that. And I feel like we're all at that point too, where with coaching, like we feel the same way, where it's not that natural way of posting, just like challenge group posting wasn't natural for you at first either. So I think the more we do it and the more you try and think of what the opportunity has done for you, then that just will come across your posts as well too.
And I think with Aaron, my Aaron, sorry, keep forgetting there's like two of us on here. I know like you and I don't have kids, and so I know like we can, like when I'm at school and yeah, sorry, I want to be home like with my dog and like Aaron and everything, but it's like at the same time I don't have kids, so I don't know like what it's like, like what you're going through tonight, like, oh, I wish I could be home with my kid. And so I think like with Aaron, it's kind of like you're on your own kind of right now, because I know Jake's busy a lot. and stuff. And so like it's hard, but I would also find the fact that you can join and like spend time with us, if that makes your day. I'm sure it does. But you know, like just spending time with us and talking to us, and like you and I have been in so much more contact and talk like every single day. And before, you know, we might have commented on a picture or something, you know, so like just using like that aspect of it, because I found like with most of the coaches, a lot of them have kids, which is fine. You know, I don't have kids yet, but I just kind of went more to like the relationship I got to build with Kylie, or, you know, meeting Julie, meeting Aaron, and all of this stuff. So just kind of using coaching in our own way, since we're not exactly the same kind of as other coaches, I guess, if that makes sense.
And there's actually like a lot of top coaches that don't have kids yet. And I was listening to a call today, and I think I shared it in the team page about like, it was talking about, oh my gosh, sorry, Erin sent me a message and I was trying to read it. She was talking about how like, yeah, she doesn't have kids. And so it was the Facebook like page, and even if you don't have a like page yet, I would still watch that because it was good about posting. But she's like, I don't have kids, so I'm obviously not going to target those people that have kids. But she's like, I have a dog, and I love my dog, and so I'm going to talk about my dog. Or I have a husband, so I'm going to talk about my husband and how this opportunity has helped us. And even with you, Erin, like I know, like especially right now since soccer's starting, like you're busy, and you can use that to your advantage. Like that's your niche or whatever, you know, of how, or you know, how this opportunity has brought you friendships, helping you get ready for your wedding, how it makes you feel, how it changes how you feel about yourself, just your accountability, you know, like, you know, would you still work out every day? Maybe you would, but now you have to, you know, and like that accountability to stay healthy and eat clean and that kind of stuff. So, you know, yeah, all 5 of us on this call right now, like we're all different. We all have different groups that we're targeting and different lifestyles and things like that. But, you know, we're all 5 on this call for a reason. And, you know, you're moving forward for a reason and so on. So it is hard. And I think the best thing to do, especially like Erin and Aaron, you guys are starting out and you're in that diamond group. And I think like the energy in that group is insane. And it's just, I think if you throw yourself in and immerse yourself and just soak it all in and do it, you'll be surprised. Because even me, like at first I was like, well, I'll be, you know, I'm coaching, like I'll be leading the group, like I'll be doing it. And then all of a sudden one of them's like, well, I can push my husband in diamond, like I'll join the group and be right along with everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I can build my husband in diamond. So I threw in $20 too. I submitted it today. And I was like, all right, I'm in here too. Like, I have a lot to learn too. I was never in a push diamond group. She didn't run one, and it just happened for me. But I think you're going to learn a lot from there. And I think we're going to talk a lot more about coaching. And it's hard too, as a working person, to talk about coaching, I feel like, in a way that you don't get in trouble, and in a way that I've been struggling a lot. And I'm trying to find somebody that I can talk to and look at that works 8-hour days and still does coaching, and how they post about it. But I think, like for me right now, a goal for me is to post about the coaching opportunities 3 to 4 times a week. So I think if you kind of set that goal, like 2 times a week, you're going to post about it. And I usually do it at night. I try to do it at night just because I try to keep my most important posts for at night. But I think what I would do is write down like the 5 things that coaching has done for you and make a post about it. Not all 5. You don't have to necessarily do all 5, but like 1. You know, maybe it's been, like for me, a lot of it now lately has been my confidence in the way that I feel and the way that I interact and the positivity that I gain from being around you guys. Like that's what's changed me so far, like a lot lately. So just kind of trying to throw that out there in some of my posts and that kind of stuff. So I know that probably was like no help at all, but it's a hard transition to make, because as a new coach, you're like, I can't post about coaching. Like I just started, I can't do that, but you kind of have to eventually when you're ready to. All right. Any other, Erin, was what you sent me, did you want me to talk about that right now or answer it later?
You don't have to talk about it now. You can, or you can if you want to, but I think everybody else probably knows the answer.
I was like trying to read it and
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Basically, there's like a lot of people that keep asking me, like,
actually, this is probably good just to like touch on because I think other people have like had that question before too. Oh, and that reminded me too. Okay, so Erin said, "What do I do if people have the 21-day fix but they want help with eating?" I know, like as a newer coach, you want to try and get people involved as much as you can. And I had somebody ask me the other day about like if my person doesn't have Shakeology, do I let them in the group? I've been saying no. I've been saying, we have limited spots. Only if you get Shakeology. This was a person that had it and then canceled it and so on. But Erin, I'll message you more about that too. But it's hard because this is a business. And at some point you have to say, if you're not paying me, I can't help you. You know what I mean? Like that sounds so bad. But eventually at some point you have to draw that line where it's like, this is a business. Time is money. My time is precious.